Hey guys, Akash here. In this lecture, we will understand what HIIT is, high intensity interval training, its types, formats, and its advantages and disadvantages over steady state cardio. So HIIT, as I said earlier, stands for high intensity interval training. It's a form of cardio training which alternates period of short intense anaerobic exercise with less intense recovery periods. Variety of HIIT formats based on duration, intensity, frequency of the work intervals, and length of recovery intervals. So predominantly there are four types of HIIT. One is via sprint, one is HIIT Tabata, one is where you use your own body as a weight, and then you can do HIIT on a cardio machine as well. Of course, you can do HIIT via swimming and through other activities as well. Any activity that takes you to zone 3, and then you do interval trainings by taking your heart rate to zone 1, and it can be termed as HIIT. All right, so here it is. There are various different types of HIIT types and formats that you can do, and a beginner, by the way, can do HIIT, but the work and the rest will be more relaxed for you guys when compared with anyone who is in advanced training. Okay, either ways, it's important to be conservative and gradually increase the intensity. Slowly progress. Always be safe than sorry. Okay, as I mentioned in the last lecture, I know many people who get a torn hamstring when they go overboard with sprints. So start slow and build it up slowly. But as a beginner, you can start with HIIT. Now, ideally, I recommend start with HIIT on a cardio machine, not treadmill, but a recumbent cycle or a cross trainer. Now, this is good, especially if you are overweight person, because when you're on a cycle, you're not putting stress on your knee and your ankle. And with a cross trainer, there's a gliding motion as compared to treadmill, which puts more stress on your ankle and knees. By the way, more than 100,000 cases are there in the United States per year of torn anterior cruciate ligament, that is the ACL ligament of one's knees, and all the injuries are non-contact, means that the tear happens without any external factor. So basically anyone who's running, jogging on a treadmill or playing a sport can basically tear his ACL because of muscle imbalances, because a person is overweight or obese. It happened to one of my best friends, and he is not still completely recovered, unfortunately. So anyways, just be careful. If you are a beginner and if you're overweight or obese, always start HIIT on a recumbent cycle or on a cross trainer and gradually progress. All right, so when we talk about the formats, there is work and there is rest, and there is the total duration of the HIIT workout. So when we talk about work, now work is the high intensity interval which can last from anything from 30 seconds to 90 seconds. Okay, overall on an average it's around 45 seconds for people. So based on your fitness levels, your heart rate can go from 85% to 95%, that is zone 3. Okay, this is during your work intervals. Now when we talk about rest or the recovery intervals, this is the low intensity interval which can last from anything from 30 seconds to up to 5 minutes. For example, when I do sprints, I really go all out. Maybe I'm not wearing a heart rate monitor, but I can feel my heart pumping so strong that maybe I'm touching 97, 98% of my maximum heart rate, and that is for around 45 seconds. So after that, I need at least 3 to 4 minutes of rest before I can even think about going for another sprint. So sprint is only reserved for intermediate or advanced trainees, and you need to do a proper warm-up protocol before you can engage in sprints. So as I mentioned, if you're a beginner, always start with HIIT cardio. You can do a work of 30 seconds, and then you can rest, starting anything from 1 minute to up to 3 minutes, and the total time duration should be between 10 and 20 minutes. It can be around 30 minutes if you are intermediate or advanced trainee. I have given I have attached a video of HIIT cardio on a recombinant cycle, so you might want to watch after listening to this presentation. Then there is HIIT via bodyweight training. I have few videos on my YouTube channel, so you might want to see that as well. Again, the work is between starting from 30 seconds, it can go up to 90 seconds or even 120 seconds. And then the rest is can be in the ratio of 1:2, 1:3, or even 1:5. Total durations, anything from 10 minutes to up to 30 minutes. I personally feel 30 minutes is a bit too much, and I usually limit my HIIT sessions up from 15 to 20 minutes at the max, and I do them at least few times in a week. When we talk about HIIT Tabata is basically you work for 20 seconds and you rest for 10 seconds, and it's so damn intense that you cannot do more than 4 minutes. Now, this is only reserved for intermediate and advanced trainees. All right, okay, so we've covered this. Now, HIIT benefits over steady state cardio. So HIIT, you go into zone 1, 2, 3, all zones, so it increases both your aerobic and anaerobic fitness. As I mentioned previously in the last lecture, it boosts massive production of human growth hormone and testosterone. It definitely burns more fat, especially belly fat. So for a skinny fat person, HIIT is a big advantage over steady state cardio, and then it saves a lot of time. You can get fit, super fit, in just a few sessions a week. Not more than 15 to 20 minutes. That's amazing. Okay. The disadvantages is, as I mentioned in the previous lecture, it requires a very higher pain threshold. It also requires good levels of fitness. Although I've mentioned that a beginner can start with HIIT on a cardio, and if you are not overweight and if you consider yourself pretty fit, then you can do HIIT via body weight training as well. And then as compared to aerobic training, it requires longer recovery, and there might be a higher risk of injury, so you need to be careful. So that was all about HIIT. And now we're going to talk about strength training and its benefits in the next lecture. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next lecture.